DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Oh, yeah, you heard me. Oh, I'm home. This is not going to be a fun vlog, actually. I was at a conference in Basel today. Something to do with the groups that work on bioinformatics, genomics, and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, just that subject on its own could probably scare a lot of people off. But in the afternoon, late afternoon, well, let's go back a little bit. When I used to work in Basel, I had a right-hand man for many years. He was like a brother, and at the same time, he really was my right-hand man, a discussion partner, and just about everything. A while back, about 6 months ago, maybe a bit more than that, he was diagnosed with cancer. I guess somewhere like around in his chest, something like that. Had all the treatments and whatever. Supposedly was okay, but came back since April. I get a little bit annoyed with him today because, well, I'll get to that. A little bit annoyed because, yeah, he didn't tell me that it came back. It was at his birthday at the end of March, and he kind of just said, well, just didn't. He said, yeah, things are kind of okay, but you know, best as could be expected, or some type of sentence, that didn't really mean, that things had gone all the way downhill. He told me I didn't tell you because he says I know how you are, and that you'd be worried, or you'd take it too bad, you'd feel too much. So he didn't tell me because he was protecting me in a way. Well, since I was going up to this conference in Basel, I sent him a text message asking him how things were going and if we could meet up. I thought I'd go and meet him at the workplace, have a coffee with him where he was. I was a bit surprised because the text message was answered by his wife instead of him, which normally, he answers his own text messages. But no, she told me his cancer came back and he was in end phase. But he was at home. So I went over after this conference to see him. He was a big guy, muscular, very self-confident. Still self-confident, but he's a skeleton now. Can't swallow barely anymore, can barely eat, can barely drink. He's on the last, really on the last legs, literally. So I went to say goodbye. We talked, exchanged stories about family, exchanged stories about the past. We actually had a good time. He even said jokingly, he says, after you left, everything went downhill since then. So we laughed, so we said, okay. I said, I'll suppose you want me to share the responsibility for this. So we were still able to laugh together. At the end of our talk, I asked him, I said, do you want me to pray for you? He wasn't never a very particularly religious man. He wasn't an outgoing atheist. That's not what I'm saying. But, I prayed. Had my hand on his head and prayed. We all cried together. When I went to say goodbye, when I left, held each other in our arms, I gave him a kiss. I knew it was really goodbye. And he knew it as well. You know what I felt like saying? I felt like screaming up to God and saying, like my Christian radio mentor Steve Brown says sometimes, to have more friends, God. if you treated those that loved you better. It's the way I felt. It is. It really was. It's the way I felt. I was mad. I know, like in the Psalms, David cries out to God, and basically he says, "I'm pissed off." Well, yeah, that's the way I'm feeling. It's the second time in a very short time that I've prayed over somebody who's died. The last time was a lady in her 80s. This time it's a man who's the same age as my brother. But like I say, he was my right hand, more than my right hand man. And he was telling me, he said, "I didn't want to tell you right off." He says, "You've always been family for me." It's not easy. Life is sometimes shit. It really is. The world is corrupt. The world is bad. It's time for things to change. Hopefully they will soon. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm having a coffee. Miss DC's just next door listening to something, and my battery's dying as well. Life is still good. Life is still good. It's worth living to the fullest. DC signing off, everybody. Take care. Love y'all.